Wood has been used to build homes for thousands of years, but higher density housing like skyscrapers have historically been built with concrete and steel. But there's a new way of using wood that has architects, builders, and environmental advocates pretty stoked. It's called mass timber. This is actually Toronto's first mass timber residential building. There are several types of mass timber products. The engineered wood-based material is suitable for large-scale infrastructure projects like buildings and bridges. Mass timber is really on the rise, so much so that University of Toronto has a whole research network dedicated to it.
We think about mass timber as the whole mass of the tree. So how do we use not just the core of it that can produce those structural parts, but also the other parts of the tree, the branches, the bark, to make things like cellulose and wood fiber.
Concrete and steel are versatile materials, but they have big carbon footprints. Mass timber is a low-carbon material. It stores rather than emits carbon. According to the Mass Timber Institute, it's estimated that 1 cubic meter of mass timber sequesters 1 meter ton of carbon dioxide. By contrast, it's estimated that every ton of manufactured cement produces about 0.47 tons of carbon dioxide. 0.6 tons of carbon dioxide is produced for every ton of iron manufactured. And now, cities and builders have to work towards the province's goal of reducing greenhouse gas emissions by 37% below 1990 levels by 2030.
We witness a huge interest in well-managed forests and FSC certification with builders.
This is Francois Dufresne, and he's the president of the Forest Stewardship Council of Canada. The group certifies mass timber, which basically means it gets their seal of approval that the material comes from well-managed forests.
If it comes from a forest that's been converted or not well managed, or plantation, it can have actually more or less the same impact as other building material like steel or concrete and have the negative impact on carbon.
Dufresne also has an important reminder. The forest isn't unlimited.
We want to favor that building material, such as mass timber, to make sure that our forests in Canada will remain resilient, will remain there for future generations.
There are a number of projects underway in Toronto right now. Limberlost Place at George Brown College is one of them.
So Limberlost Place, when it opens, will be the tallest institutional mass timber building in Canada. Moving our architectural studies students here, it was very important that they see a building that is future forward. We're currently at around 170 tours of developers, contractors, engineers, architects, all who have come and walked through the site to understand what we've been achieving with the mass timber, what you can achieve with the mass timber, and honestly, how it can be used as a tool for sustainability.
Timber panels are prefabricated and assembled on site. Experts say that reduces construction timelines by 25%.
There's essentially a digital twin of this building, and all mass timber buildings, really, so that every single piece that arrives on site has a QR code, and we know where it goes, and it's just simply put into place. So there's a lot of upfront work, but on site, the disturbance to community and the realization of these buildings goes much faster from a structural perspective than any other type of structural construction.
So aside from the environmental benefits, mass timber construction is also faster and cheaper, which begs the question, could it be part of the solution to Toronto's housing crisis?
One of the things that is really amazing about mass timber is that it's much lighter than other forms of construction. So there is a potential to intensify existing buildings, existing streets, existing corridors all through the GTA and beyond by building on top.
Last year, the city launched a mass timber pilot program to assess the feasibility of developing new housing using mass timber. The pilot focuses on expediting housing delivery. This property at Dundas Street West is the first city-owned site to be considered for the delivery of affordable and market housing in the form of mass timber construction. It's slated to be transformed into a sustainable building and laneway housing, including at least 100 rental units. And here's another benefit. Wood feels good. And that's actually something that's been studied at the University of Toronto's Mass Timber Institute. They found that exposed wood can be calming, reduce insomnia, and improve eyesight.
So I think really what this potentially represents is a resurrection of an industry that was underpinned the development of Ontario, frankly. And I think what that means as an architect and designer is very exciting, because we can be moving back towards the materials that our grandparents used, but in completely new ways.
These are safe, beautiful, warm buildings, and our connection to natural environments will be so strong that I think that you'll see a positive uptake of this use of mass timber in the built environment.
And you'll probably see more people living in mass timber construction buildings too. Talia Ricci, CBC News, Toronto.